Hey everyone, welcome back to the bench. So what I'm going to be doing today in this video is I'm going to be doing a little bit of a comparison with my AR. I just recently, and I know this is not new to the market, but I just recently purchased a Armaspec the SRS buffer. So this is an all-enclosed one-piece buffer. This system is made to mitigate recoil and also do a little bit of noise mitigation as well. Not entirely sure how that's going to work, but that is what the system is. That's what it says it's for. I'm very interested in having the recoil mitigation. Not that, you know, AR-15s are hard to manage, I guess. They're really not. But with that being said, it's always nice to try and mitigate as much recoil as you can, make your shots easier, make your shots smoother. I know there's a lot of people that are just like, just grab the gun, run the gun. Yeah, I have been doing that pretty much every time I shoot. I just grab the gun, run the gun. But this is an interesting system. The way this system works is this is the C, the carbine weight. And the way the system works is when you shoot your gun, the system recoils back. And, you know, that's basically how this works. You know, just like a regular buffer spring. I have a regular buffer spring right here. Regular buffer spring, this works pretty much the same way, okay? Without having the huge spring in there. So I do have the H2, or I'm sorry, the H and the H2 weight that came with this package as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on the range. I'm going to shoot 5 shots with the regular buffer. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to shoot 5 shots. I'm going to change it out. Shoot 5 shots with the carbine weight. Shoot 5 shots with the H weight and 5 shots with the H2 weight, and see which one I like better. See if I have any lockback issues as far as my bolt is concerned. I'm running regular M193. I'm running PMC Bronze, M193, the X-Tac, just regular range ammo, nothing special about it. But I'm going to go out to the range and take this with me and shoot off a couple of shots, and I'll come back and give you my thoughts. All right, so got the Armaspec in here. Didn't have any issues locking the bolt back to the rear, so we got a mag in. Let's see how it feels shooting with the C, the carbine weight from Armaspec in here. A little bit of a difference. I can feel that for sure. No problems locking it back. Bolt lock back just fine. I'm going to go ahead and send it forward. And I'm going to take this apart. And what we're going to do is we're going to put the H weight in first and give it 5 more shots. And then we'll put the H2 in and give it 5 more shots. And I'll come back on and we'll give you our thoughts. All right. So cool factor with the Armaspec buffer is that these weights are interchangeable. So I have the H and the H2, I believe, weight here, and they are marked when they come in the package. So this guy right here being the H at looks like 3.2 ounces, and this one being the H2, I would assume is going to be 4.3 ounces. The cool thing about Armaspec, as I have my little gunsmithing tools here, cool thing about them is that the weights are super, super easy to change. So all I have to do basically is, I really don't even have to pull this down. So you see that little bar right across there, that just needs to be punched out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in my little armor's block right here, and I brought a punch and a hammer with me, and I'm going to give it a couple of taps. There we go. And that pin is out right there. So all I got to do now is just pull the rubber bottom down, take the punch out, and then just slowly let it up. There we go. It's a 2-buffer system, or 2-spring system, I should say, not 2-buffer system, 2-spring system. Okay, which is super, super convenient. So all I got to do is take the H out, or the carbine out, I'm sorry, put the H in right there, and it sits right there perfectly flush. I'm going to put the weight back in it, or I'm sorry, the first spring back in it, and then put the second spring on, which will seat itself pretty much just like that. Okay, and then it's just a matter of compressing it. That's all I'm going to do, whoops, is just compress it to where it will fly, to where it will expose the hole. Put the pin back in, and basically, I mean, the pin just kind of pushes in. So as long as I get it lined up right, there we go. There's the spring, just like that. That seems to be correct. That seems to be what we're looking at. So yeah, there it is. I mean, it's simple as that. And we'll put it back in the gun, and we'll get it, we'll bring you back on. Okay, so we're back. So I did switch out the Armaspec buffer. Let me make sure the camera is pointed at a right angle, which is probably not. Nope, it sure as heck isn't. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring this camera up here just a little bit. There we go. All right. So I have the Armaspec H2 weight in here, which is, I want to say, a 4-ounce weight, a little over 4-ounce weight. I have that one in here. I've got the bolt is already locked back, so we're gonna let the buffer do the work on this. So the buffer should already be compressed with the bolt being locked back. I didn't have any issues with the carbine or the H buffer locking this thing back. There is a difference in the recoil, the felt recoil, and a little bit in the noise as well. So with the carbine buffer, that was very significant over the regular buffer. And we'll get to that here in just a minute. So I'm going to shoot 5 more downrange, and I'll give you my thoughts. Let's do this. All right, no problems with lockback. Drop the mag. Definitely a noticeable difference. So let's drop that. All right, let me come back on camera here in a little bit, and I'll give you my thoughts. Okay, welcome back to the bench. So final thoughts on the Armaspec SRS one-piece buffer, or is literally a 2-stage buffer. I like it. This is the H2 weight as opposed to the carbine and the H weight. So this being the carbine right here, and this guy being the H weight. Like I said, like you see in the video, I shot 5 rounds with the regular buffer spring, the mil-spec buffer spring that came with the gun after my gunsmith buddy made it. I have the Armaspec now that's in there. I'm going to decided to keep the H2 because I like the way it mitigates the recoil. There is some sound mitigation. It's not a crap ton of sound mitigation to where you can shoot without, ear pro. It's not any type of suppressor type thing or anything like that. But it does mitigate a little bit of the sound. It does deaden a little bit of the sound, but not enough, not much. More of it is in the recoil. So I shot 20 rounds, 5 of each, 5 regular, 5 carbine weight, 5 H weight, and 5 H2 weight. And I decided that I like the H2 the best. So I have a second weight, or a second buffer that I'm going to be putting in my wife's AR and letting her make the decision on what she wants, if she wants the carbine or if she wants the extra H2, which I kind of like the H2 as well. That was a noticeable difference over the carbine and the regular buffer, a very noticeable difference for me. With the difference between the H2 and the H, or the H and the H2, not very much. There is a little bit more of a difference, but I like the H2 better. So I'm going to go ahead and keep that. As far as I'm concerned, I like the Armaspec. There is a company out there that does make something like this, which is significantly more money than the Armaspec. I got my Armaspec for about $113 at a local place here, local to me. There is a company called Unrivaled that makes the dead blow buffer, which is along the same lines as this one. Supposedly it mitigates a lot more recoil. They're about 179, 180 bucks online. That's going to be completely up to you as to what you want to do if you want to look at it. Cool thing about the these types of buffers, these single piece or dual system buffers, is that they advertise that you can put it in without your buffer retention detent, because it's not going to spring out at you, because it's literally one system that sits about right here. Okay, this is the way it sits in your AR, and when your bolt locks back, it comes back here, has a little bit of space to, you know what I mean? So this is not going to shoot out. So if you wanted to take your detent out, you can. I haven't done that yet, but we'll see in the near future as I shoot it more as to what I want to do with it, whether I want to take this out or not. But you can get these pretty much anywhere. Armaspec, you can go to their website, armaspec.com. I happen to get mine at the Sportsman's Warehouse. I ordered it online at sportsmanswarehouse.com, and it was a really reasonable price. And there's a lot of local places around here that will have stuff like this, anything with any gunsmithing supplies or supplies to where you can literally put your own AR together. That's where they'll be at. So with that being said, thanks for stopping by the bench. Have a great day.